Ah, Earth, home sweet home. 12 months every year. And thanks to the 23.5-degree tilt of our planet's axis, we get to experience the diversity of the 4 seasons. For example, when the northern hemisphere is at the peak of leaning toward the sun and thus receives most of the sunlight, that's where you will find summer. Whereas people in the southern hemisphere at the same time are experiencing winter. Halfway toward winter we have fall, and halfway up again we have spring. This is one of the oldest symbols known to man. The circle representing the sun and the cross representing the 4 seasons. Sumerian, Norse, Celtic, Babylonian, Hinduism, Mesoamerica, Maltese, Coptic, and here's the Jerusalem cross, the Cathar cross, various ancient carvings. It's been everywhere, simply because we have always worshipped the sun. But why? Well, we all want a piece of the sun, don't we? And so it has been for ages, the worship of the sun. Every culture, tradition, and religion is rooted in sun worship. Now, as you sit back and relax, I am going to tell you a story. Once upon a time, in ancient Egypt, thousands of years ago, the goddess Isis and her brother Osiris had a child. Oh, not by intercourse, parthenogenesis, a virgin birth. The child was called Horus, and he was no other than the sun god himself. He had a somewhat bitter uncle called Set, and Set was the prince of darkness, and he would do just about anything to overthrow Horus from his shiny position. Horus and Set had 12 hours each of the 24 hours disposable of a day. So Horus walked the heavens in 12 steps every day, one cycle of daylight. The word hours comes from the name Horus. Each dawn there was a Horus rising, which now is referred to as horizon. And at dusk, I suppose we don't even need to mention the meaning behind the word sunset. And thus we have 12-step programs for alcoholics, 12-year schooling indoctrination and brainwashing of our children in most modern countries. So, how can the sun be so important? Perhaps it's easier to understand if imagining yourself living somewhere on our beautiful planet a couple of millennia back in time, when there were no artificial lights, no climate-controlled houses, and at night, in absence of the sun, there was only darkness. Possibly cold nights, pitch dark, and nocturnal animals praying for food. No wonder we have feared darkness through the ages, and no wonder we have praised the sun lighting up the world in front of our eyes, nurturing all of us, all the plants, all the animals, the great giver of life. It is not strange that the sun has been revered as the greatest gift of God. So we have 12 months, 3 months every season, or 90 days, or 90 degrees, since the sun, viewed from Earth, moves through the firmament 1 degree every day. Summer in the northern hemisphere starts in the constellation of Leo, then the sun moves toward the south 1 degree every day. In summer, everything is alive, lush green fields, abundance of food for every creature, existence at the peak of thriving in the circle of life. After 90 degrees or a quarter turn, summer turns to fall. In the constellation of Scorpio, everything starts to wither, leaves fall, and dark times are ahead of us. The sun keeps descending another quarter to as far down south it will go. Winter is at hand, cold and dark. The lush life of summer is now dead and gone. Here, on December 22nd, the sun will rise on the same degree for 3 days before it starts journeying up again on December 25th. Next quarter destination, spring, the return of the sun, the promise of rebirth. Everything again comes back to life. Now, let's apply the Christian story on the astrological charts of the sun and the Zodiacs. We'll not call Jesus the Son of God, but the Son of God. Ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. Mark 14:62. The dawn of summer in the constellation of Leo, love and light, maximum sunlight. The fall in the constellation of Scorpio. There is a rare Scorpio with double stingers, and when stung by it, you will get 2 cuts in your skin that resembles the look of a pair of human lips. This was in ancient times called the kiss of death. And interestingly, Judas betrayed Jesus with a kiss. And from that point on, you could say that everything kind of started to fall apart. And Jesus died on the cross. Winter solstice, December 22nd, the sun rises on the same degree. December 23rd, it rises again on the same degree. December 24th, it rises again on the same degree. For 3 days, the Son of God is dead and doesn't move. Born again on the 25th of December. The Christ will suffer and rise from the dead on the 3rd day. And repentance and forgiveness of sins will be preached in his name. Luke 24:46-47. Spring in the constellation of Virgo, the virgin birth, Isis, Osiris and Horus. Sounds familiar? Does it ring a bell? And now the pass over the equator in the east, Easter Sunday, Sunday. And just as Horus had 12 steps to walk over the firmament, Jesus had 12 apostles, 12 representations of the Zodiac perhaps. As a matter of fact, one is believed to have been a woman, Virgo, the Virgin. The precession, the slow wobbling movement of Earth's axis, gives us the great year, a time cycle of 25,920 years, fitting the 12 zodiacs, each sharing a fraction of roughly 2,150 years. Now if we back up just a little bit, the age of Taurus was 4,300 BC to 2,150 BC, and the next age, the age of Aries, 2,150 BC to 1 AD, and we are now leaving the age of Pisces, the very age which Christianity is founded upon, the 2 fish, spanning from year 1 to 2,150. And so we are closing in on the age of Aquarius. In my Father's house there are many mansions, John 14:2. Well, one could say that there are 12 mansions in the zodiac. And furthermore, when Jesus knew that he would die, his apostles asked, "Where do we go when you are gone?" And he answered, "Behold, when you have entered the city, a man will meet you, carrying a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house which he enters." Luke 22:10. Welcome to the age of Aquarius.